connected to this webinar. This is the Phygital Sustainability Expo webinar for the FAO Science and Innovation Forum. So we decided to organize this side event because we have really a breaking news. We are going to host today our first speaker, which is the president of the National Consortium for Organic Cotton, and is going to be made in Italy because it's in Sicily, the amazing, beautiful island, full of sun and very, very hot. As a matter of fact, I would like to introduce you Manlio Carta from Sativa Organic Cultures. The floor is yours, Manlio. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Valeria. First one, thank you again to invite me to these events. And then what I can do now is just tell you what is my history, where everything started from the beginning, and tell you what is our adventure until today. Basically, 3 years ago, I started the first plantation of cotton, organic cotton in Sicily. I coming from a background of textile, so I have some knowledge in these skills. And we started to select 3 years ago several seeds that we adapted to the ecosystem, to the system, to the biological system of Sicily. And then we have a very good result. The plant was installed well, and we choose some seeds today that we call bardanense. It's a long fiber for the cotton skills. Is one precious cotton, a little bit luxury, high-end. And we noticed that this plant have a specific characteristic of together with the system in Sicily. So this happened in the first years. Last years, we are doing the first plant. We making the first farm was just 10 hectares to try to make it, see what happened. And then we have one ginning machine we buy from overseas, we import, and then we do the first production, small production of cotton, but it's in Italy, Sicilian cotton last years. And today, what is the most important time for us was the first step of industrialization. So we try to expand the activity. And then for do this, not only myself, but I involve several farmers in all Sicilian lands. And then we build in the Cotone Organico di Sicilia. Is a logo, it's called COS. And then we are producing a bio-farm cotton. We open today the first manual, semi-manual ginning company, where we are able to ginning 5 tons by day of manual picking. And then for us is a very good arrive. No, you can imagine today, this year, we seeding 100 hectares, and we have very good experience in some way because we're growing, we're learning every year, so we will do better. But I can say today we are peaking, starting from the beginning of September already, all the cotton by hands. We're going to finish in middle of November. And from starting from basically, we opened the first ginning company after 70 years because, like you know, in Sicily, always was one of the center of production cotton in the history, starting from the Roman Empire to the Second War. So cotton was one of the main production. But today, of course, was a little bit disappeared because the events of polyester, coming polyester, synthetic fabric. American companies starting to do the conventional very big lengths. So the request in the years going down. So in one day for another one, let's say very short time, all the culture disappeared around the 70. Today, after 50 years, we can say we restyle this culture, and then we are doing this with the specific, like I long fiber, because it's makes sense to give a value of quality of what we do in Italy. Our ginning all the lands are bio-certified. We are producing only organic cotton, and the ginning company is certified GOTS. So all the product we are going to do is coming out of GOTS certificated. And then we have several ambition of growing. We have planning also next year starting to automatize the system, because today picking by hands, even though it's good, it's beautiful, but it's very difficult to manage, and very difficult to manage in development. This is for the future, right? So the future step will be picking by machine and improve the ginning on the way we can clean up the bio cotton directly from machinery. And then from another side, this year actually something very beautiful happened, because in the beginning I was lonely to do this experiment, this growing, but step by step brands and company in the skills textile Italian company, we starting to do project together. So we farming cotton basically from brands already booked. So example of yes is one of our clients. They booked Simone is here, he can mention to you later, but they booked the cotton. So we farming cotton for them, and they have them along with the farming. We have the team activity. Actually, it's not only producing the cotton, but all the activity we developing around the sustainability and so on. I have to say, Sicily are moving forward in this, because people watching what we does until today, all the farmers are very interesting to go inside this filiera, a chain of producing. And then, well, let's say we are lonely in this moment a little bit, because the government, Italian government for the moment, not support us in nothing. Basically, if you planting in Sicily or in Italy any kind of cultivation, you receive fund from Community European. Spain, Greece, Albania, Bulgaria producing cotton receive fund from the Community European. Sicily, no, we don't know why. We try to ask in several times. There is something called PAP, is the contribution from Community European from hectare for any kind of culture. So if you plant olive, you have a PAP. If you plant grain, you have a PAP. But for the cotton, for the moment, there is nothing. So everything, this is just to say, everything we do with our energy. This is without private energy, private initiative, and thanks also to the brand's support of the activity. Well, this is a little bit short history, because I think we can talk about how the plants are. We open a laboratory, thanks to OBS, we support today one Borsa di Studio in Catania University, where one...
Really? A scholarship? Wow.
Yes, scholarship. Thank you for telling me in English.
Wow, that's interesting. Supported by OVS, eh?
Yes, exactly. Right. So this will really help the scientific part, the improvement of the cultivation and so on. So we actually try to put all the puzzle together, and we try to growing. But of course, I think every help will be great in this moment to support this project. We also, what is the most important things we are trying to do is growing the agroeconomy, micro agroeconomy in Sicily, because in the past years, let's say, all the farmers a little bit leave the camp and not do so much, because any kind of production you does are not profitable. So let's say the farmer cannot give up. So actually this activity make them the possibility to have a relativity for hectares. So this will make also new job for people, new opportunity for the Sicilians of business. Sorry, of business, and then basically. Sorry, and then also we give a job example to the people coming from Africa to picking. We try to be between the community, right? You know, these people when arrive in Sicily, they are inside this center after sending these people in another center. Through this center, we employ, we pay tax for them, and we give them a contract. We give them a chance also to go inside Italy in the right way, you know, to have all regular documents. I think what we are doing is helping all the system to restart. I think we are at the beginning of something. is a big chain, can go after to the spinning, can go after to the textile, can go after to the garment. And what with the OVS with us is something I think very important. We put in communication the brands directly with the farmers. So we are jumping on the trading company in the middle. So we have a marginality for everybody in this case, and the business can work. You know, we jump some, this is, I say, this is for a farmer, is a big opportunity, also related themselves with company big like OVS, can, for them is always a symbol to watch it, right? And this is what is the status today. I think if you guys have more questions, I am here to answer. So I hope.
Anio is amazing. You're doing an amazing job. How many acres did you say?
100 hectares this year.
100 hectares. My God, that's amazing. And so mainly to draw to the political point of view, let's say your issue, what you're asking is that you don't have any contribution from the European community because Italy is not in the slot, let's say, of the percentage of contributions that are given instead to PAP is called, yeah, that instead are given to like Eastern countries. But you mean Eastern Europe or East of the world?
No, even Greece, Spain, everybody have. So the point is, if the Community European have, but Italy don't ask. If you don't ask, nobody give it to you, right? So it should
but you cannot ask because Italy is not an agriculture, country anymore. It was until the Second World War, but now, from that on, we stopped all the cultivations of cotton, of hemp as well, and we just import that. So it has to be changed, like in the Ministry for Agriculture.
She must starting from the top. It's not. I've been fighting already for 2 years with the local government, but of course it's useful because the order, let's say, this key must be down from the Rome, let's say, from the capital, and make Italy again one of the country producing cotton, so we can ask the right to what any other country, any other competitors we have today from other countries received. I think it's nothing strange. We don't ask
it's normal. Also, because we want to be sustainable, and to start to be sustainable is that we have to not to inshore, start reshoring everything, and at least the cotton. We are the made in Italy. We can at least produce our own cotton. It would be wonderful, and I'm so glad that we have a multinational here present, which is OVS, and we have the Chief Sustainability Officer, which is Simone Colombo, that they have, the amazing role to be the first brand buying this Sicilian cotton. So Simone, please tell us something about this adventure.
Well, thank you very much for the introduction. I've been absolutely amazed when I saw this small bag on my table the last year, 1 year ago, when a colleague of mine brought this sample of organic cotton made in Sicily. I couldn't believe it because, as Mario told before, cotton cultivation disappeared in the 50s of the last century, so it's not common to see cotton fibers coming from Italy. So when we saw that, we immediately understood that we had to do something with that. We were absolutely aware that that was a sort of, let's say, pilot project, because it was the first year of an industrial production. A cultivation which is made with the intention to make a product which will go into the market in the next season. We will have a collection made with this cotton in the next spring summer 23. the distribution of this collection will be in conjunction with the Earth Day, so half of April.
Wow.
The funny story is that we spread the seeds exactly on the Earth Day 2022. So the 22nd of April, it was not scheduled to be like that, but it happened. So it was quite funny. You know, we are quite a big brand, and of course not at the level of some giants that we are, some huge player we have in the world. However, we are the market leader in Italy. We have a market share which is around 10% of the apparel market here in Italy. Our main material is cotton, so our collection is composed of, let's say, more than 70% of cotton. So it's absolutely our main material. So we depend on cotton. Today, our cotton is coming from several countries in the world. It is worked in other countries, but it comes from USA, it comes from Africa, it comes from India, mainly from India, from Brazil in certain cases, from Australia. So the cotton, where in the world there is a big farmer of cotton, probably part of that cotton is coming to our collection. We source every year around 35,000 metric tons of cotton. So that's a big production. Probably we are one of the biggest cotton importer in Italy, probably. Of course, not directly. We do not import the cotton fiber, but we do import the cotton-based products. So when we started our sustainability journey, we decided to work on cotton at first because it's our main material. We absolutely dislike the capsule approach, let's say. So we had the chance in the past to create the best sustainable capsule collection. But of course, it's absolutely easy. If we want to make a super sustainable capsule collection, we can make it today. So we can use the most sustainable fibers, the most sustainable manufacturers. But the real challenge for us, we are working on big volumes. We import around 200 millions of garments per year. So the big challenge is to convert the daily activities into more sustainable activities, in a more sustainable business. That's the real challenge we have. So we don't like the capsule approach. We like it only if it's a sort of lab where we test a solution, but with the potential to be scaled up at an industrial level. And this is the case of the cotton cultivation that we are testing with Malio. Of course, it will be a small collection, around 30,000 t-shirts, less or more, but it will be a great opportunity to evaluate a possible increased collaboration. And let's see how we can collaborate more in the future, probably closer than this year, and in order to plan the production accordingly to a certain amount which is granted by us. So we are joining the first step of our value chain and the last one, because we own the stores, so we have the direct contact with the consumer, so we can address specific messages to our clients. We can tell them a story, and of course we can ensure that this project can grow in the future. And this is what we would like to do. For this collection, we will maintain all the supply chain located in Italy in order to have an absolute consistency in terms of message. Of course, I do not hide that we have a multinational supply chain. Our main sourcing country is Bangladesh today, with around 40% of our production volume. But of course, every year the challenges that we are facing in a multinational environment see us in a research of new possible sources, and why not going back to the basis. Okay, so to Italy, where we are, where we have our sales, because around 90% of our consolidated turnover comes from Italy. So it would be great to start working more also in this country and the European Union as well. So now we are working on cotton on that. As Malio told, we are also financing a PhD, a 3-year PhD with the University of Catania, to improve the cultivation practices, because absolutely Manlio is super good at cultivating cotton, but who knows, we can even improve that cultivation. We can make it more profitable for the farmers. We can improve the productivity rate by hectare. We can also reduce the environmental impact. It is absolutely organic, but you know that we can also switch from organic to regenerative, and that's a possible final goal of the project when we partner with with someone who is able to put in place a more scientific approach. What else? We're very happy. I have the proof that cotton exists. You can see it here.
Wow.
This is something I picked with my hand when I went there a couple of weeks ago, because I couldn't believe it, because I wanted to see the plants in the field, and you have a little bit more.
Oh, look at that. Wow.
On the back of the desk.
And the 29th of October, we are all invited in Sicily, aren't we, Manlio?
Sure.
Yeah.
We're opening the genie. We do this small inauguration. For everybody's welcome to visiting, where we will start in the genie machine. The new genie machine is going to start this year, and then will be a emotional moment, right? Because after the peaking, after all these 6 months of cultivation, finally jump the first flock inside the machine would be a very important moment. At least for me, it's very important. So you guys are really welcome to enjoy a small aperitif here. Okay.
Cotton aperitif. We have to make a new cocktail name.
Absolutely.
And so, Simone, thank you very much, because, please let us know when is going to be the launch of this collection, because Sustainable Fashion Innovation Society wants to support you and make it a sold out item. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, Simone. And so now, Mario, before Nicola was connecting, Mario told us about some environmental issues, specifically energetic. So now I would like to give the word to Nicola Tagliaferro, which is the sustainable innovability. Can you say innovability or innovation? How do you say?
No, it's innovability.
Innovability global shift of NLX. Thank you, NLX in English, of course. Yes. Thank you, Nicola.
No, thanks much, Valeria, for inviting us and for giving us the possibility to be part of this very interesting table. Yes, I am within the innovability. I lead the sustainability team. So for NLX, the sustainability is the basement of our business. NLX is part of the NL Group and has been created exactly with this scope, like to make sustainability available to everyone. And for us, the concept of sustainability, it is not just renewable energy, which is absolutely a very important part of sustainability from our point of view, but it's also efficiency. And efficiency, above all in this period, is extremely important. We are experimenting, everyone, with a market crisis, when we are experimenting high energy prices. So first of all, efficiency means saving from an environmental point of view, because we are saving resources. And this needs to be the first step we should undertake. And then it means also saving costs. So we should look very careful to every activities that can produce efficiency within our processes. I used to say that there is nothing more sustainable that is save the kilowatt hour. So we can think about producing by renewables, so from solar, from wind. We can be absolutely very sustainable, but the important thing is to look before we need to saving resources. Actually, it is very important also for us to collaborate with a specific sector, and we decided to start within our sustainability strategy. We decided to start with the two sectors that represents Italy the most compared to other sectors, and we are talking about fashion, and this is the reason why also we collaborate with sustainable fashion community, the sustainable fashion community, and also with the agricultural and food sector, which are both representing Italy, and as NL, we would like also to support those sectors to become more sustainable. This is something I would like to share with you. Is a very interesting research. We are from McKinsey, very interesting, related to the fashion industry, and what is the impact of energy within the entire value chain of the fashion industries. When I read for the first time this research, I was absolutely very impressed, and it was not sponsored. It was a very independent research from McKinsey and was not sponsored by any energy company. But from this research, what emerged is that approximately 63% of energy, of CO2 emitted by the entire sector is due to energy component. So it means that if we really want to work on the decarbonization of this specific sector, we have to absolutely look at the energy part, because the energy part in terms of production of energy, clearly the production, the efficiency within all processes is extremely, and all the equipment also, when we are talking about also the production phase, we are not talking about only the generation phase or input phase, but we are talking also all the production part and also the distribution part, which takes, of course, a lot of energy into account. And so this is the reason why it is very important to look very carefully also to the energy component to decarbonize and to reach the European target for this specific sector. Same analysis we started to do also for the agricultural sector. The percentage we are is a bit lower than the fashion one. We are talking on a percentage between 35 and 40%. So we are not talking about the 63%, which is a very high number. I admit it is a very high number. But also for the agricultural and food, all the entire value chain, it is an important percentage. But what is the message that is behind those numbers? It is not just I wanted to give some number, some percentage, but it is an invitation to look very carefully within companies, within our products, within our business, specific business, to look very carefully to what are our impacts in general and where we are impacting mostly compared to other part, because it is only if we start to work and to dedicate our limited resources, because within our companies we have limited resources. So what we have to do is to dedicate those resources specifically to the part of our impact which is which has a greater impact on the environment. So if the energy has the greater impact, doesn't really it's worth to look on and to dedicate resources on other things, because the target, the European target, are at 2030 and 2050, and 2030 with the 55% of reduction of CO2. It's just tomorrow, because we need to invest, we need to do something. So it is very important to measure, and the metrics are very important, really can come to help and to support into this process. There is the possibility we need to work on GHG protocol to measure our CO2 emissions. There are circular economy reports to measure both the CO2, but also the level of maturity in terms of circular economy. There are certification for products. For example, there is the environmental product declaration, which is an important certification, in this case, product certification, to really understand what are the components, where is the impact of my product, and exactly where are the sector and the parts we need to work. This is very important because it will be very good also in the next call, next update, to talk about numbers in terms of impact, to talk about this is a challenge. I always in my talk and where I participate, I always launch, because when we talk about what we do, about before I heard about also cottons, talking about cottons, it is absolutely interesting, but it is very important to also provide numbers and to say, okay, the impact is this, and the cotton is impacting on all my company, or the production of cotton is impacting on all my company about this percentage. And if we move production, if we move kind of cultivation, if we switch to wherever is the innovation, our impact, the percentage of our impact is X. So this is very important, because if we talk in this way, we can also give the idea to the audience of the impact of the innovation and the sustainability I am working with. And this is a very important thing. We strongly believe, we've been working in the last 5 years as an LX on the metrics, trying to structure a metrics, for example, on circular economy, because we wanted to use the circular economy as a foundation of our sustainability strategy. But at the time, there was no actually metrics and certification to measure the circular economy. So what we did is to, first of all, to work, create a certification scheme, and also accredited at Accredia this scheme, that now is available to every company and is available for the market, because there is also an important role, institutional role, that NL still has on the market and still has to support companies. So this is a bit the message, which are metrics, and which is connected to metrics, and also the work we are doing with you, Valeria. We are doing also in the monitor for circular fashion. We are trying to support as much as possible this sector, and we are starting to do for the agricultural sector with Roma 3, with University Roma 3, working and putting together companies. For example, we have already worked, and I personally have been working with the Gen Agricola for last year. Gen Agricola is is the biggest agricultural Italian company, part of the Generali Group.
Okay.
Yes, and with 22 sites all over Italy. Wow. This is a project that I was very happy to work directly with. And what we did is to work on renewable energy on all sites all around Italy. Is to electrify totally all the fleet, the commercial fleet. Of course, to work on efficiency, as I said, on every site. And in the same time, now we are working on some innovative projects to look at the retrofitting in electric of all the trucks. So that they use clearly in their production. So those are just an example of what is possible to do, and what is possible also to do according also, it's not a case we did those things, but it's connected to the metrics. We look at what were the things that could mostly impact on the decarbonization and on the sustainability of that company, and then we chose the one that were more let's say more sustainable. Same thing we did with Parmacotto, that I worked personally as well. Still in the food, which is the middle between food and agriculture, and so it's something that is possible. Let's do immediately things that are available in terms of technology and in terms of immediate results in terms of sustainability.
Thank you very much, Nicola. It was really enlightening because, agriculture is, the first phase, at least for the cotton. Manlio, I think you are doing it by hand. Am I wrong?
Exactly. So we begin by hand. So we are I think in this moment we are very sustainability, but I want to just add one thing. Basically, we have a study for 1 hectare of cotton we farming for 6 months of cultivation. We are in every camp some sensors to really evaluate the absorbment of CO2. We already calculated for each hectare, we have 18 tons of CO2 regeneration. This is for each hectare. So you can imagine if we're planning to farming 1,000 hectares, how much cycle of CO2 we can do. But this we calculated this also because next year's we're going to apply for carbon neutral certification. So because our activity actually is bio, totally sustainability and so on. We use some track, of course, we cannot do left, but it's really, really not so much in this case. And then also we are planning to install a panel solar system for the ginning, so the machine can run with the solar system, a cycle energetic. So we are trying to do our best, Nicola. It's not easy, also because we are a startup, but trust me, I really do. We really do a lot.
But I believe in startup because absolutely in the startup, with the innovation and also with the sustainability. I always used to say that there is not really a difference between between innovation and sustainability. Now, I cannot think of an innovation which is not sustainable, and startups are really the core of innovation and sustainability together. So that's why I challenged, because I knew that there was the right answer.
Yes. I'll try to take Nicola to Sicily on the 29th for the cotton cocktail.
Or maybe
an advisory.
Or maybe, Nicola, we can try to do some solar and farming together. I mean, you install a lot of panels, maybe in the land, we can try to build in some project where we can farm cotton. Try to this, I don't know, you have the technology, you can propose.
Absolutely, Mario. When absolutely quindi available, quindi to partnering, and we are in a collaborative area in moment in particular, so absolutely, so we are available to discuss it.
You can you come to Sicily, Nicola. Thank you.
Well, thank you. With pleasure. With pleasure.
Yes, stay.
An additional information considering
this is a round table, so
yes, let's go. Let's go. No, considering also the type of product that the following speakers will talk about. We have to care also for the water scarcity impact. Today, yes, everyone is talking about the carbon footprint, which is absolutely a urgent matter for everyone. But we don't have to forget about the water scarcity. In Italy, we had a terrible year this year. So we need to, we felt on our skin that we need to care for water more and more in the future. So the cotton cultivation that Mario is doing, thanks to the organic approach, is using a very limited amount of water in comparison to a conventional cultivation. That's also one of the reasons that we decided to work together with him. Otherwise, we would have had in Italy an impact which is absolutely not consistent to a sustainable approach. So that's another interesting positive impact that we bring to the territory, enriching the soil with organic substance and allowing the soil to keep more moisture when hydrated by rain or by limited irrigation, and having let's say a lower impact when we consider the product life cycle.
And it's very important, the biodiversity of the soil, because that's all the issue now. And it's so important that they realize that, it's, for me, it's 20 years I'm writing books about ecology and well-being, and I'm writing about the territory and how important it is to respect it and to eat well and all of that, about what we grow. But the main thing is that really we have to be conscious about the territory and the biodiversity, that at the end we are not eating it, the cotton, but we are wearing it. And you know, the skin is our largest organ, so it's very important to respect it as well. But now I would like to give the word to a very special brand, which is Opera Campi, and he is making a line with hemp. And I know Alberto Zivieri since many years, and I must say that he's amazing because he did some copyright with the hemp cultivation and fabrication, at least, because the second part is more into the Opera Campi philosophy. And also, Alberto, please tell us about the hemp, how much CO2 is consuming per acre.
Yes, thank you, Valeria.
Thank you.
Thank you, Valeria, and very interesting also the other people that talked, very interesting about the organic cotton. So Opera Campi was born in 2017, so it's still a startup, but it already has more than 5 years. Our main goal is to develop the best hemp. So since the beginning, we are convinced that hemp is probably the most sustainable fiber, which is proven from a lot of international scientific studies. So basically, our goal is to reestablish the supply chain of hemp together with our suppliers, but also to innovate, because today hemp is still seen as something too traditional, something very rustic, but our goal is to make it innovative. So that's why we are not just making 100% hemp materials, but we introduce the world's first stretchy hemp material, which is 96% hemp, so almost 100%. We introduced it's our trademark Lanapa, which is a mix of hemp and wool, and also we introduced the butter hemp, which is the lightest hemp ever made. So basically, we took the most sustainable fiber and we work with the best weavers, the best spinners, in order to present something that can be worn even by the most fashionable people, okay? Because hemp is today still seen as something very rustic for mountains, for hills, but we want to bring hemp in the cities, in the work, in formal environments. That's our goal. Talking about sustainability, I would like to talk about something that we introduced 2 months ago. So I think this is the best place to talk about this. So basically, it's almost 2 years we were organizing and collecting all the studies, the independent international studies about hemp and about the CO2 absorption, CO2 emissions, etc. So about 2 months ago, we introduced the result of this research, which we called the massive impact. Okay, so the massive impact is a project where we took the average of all these studies. Okay, we counted about 200 international studies, so there are a lot of them. We took the average and the most pessimistic hypothesis, okay, because we want to be sure about the data. So we took, for example, the most pessimistic CO2 absorption of hemp from the most pessimistic study, etc., etc. Okay, and we brought these results to our products. Okay, so if I can share the screen, can I? Just a second, I should be able. I want to show you the results and what we have done even in our website. Okay, can I, Valeria?
Yes, of course.
Okay,
please.
Okay. So basically, without advertising anything, this is our t-shirt. Okay, we placed a button, impact. Okay, and by clicking impact, we showed probably what, in my modest opinion, what is the best way to showcase the impact of a product. Okay, as you can see, it's a massive impact. So just a t-shirt is subtracting the environment 92 kilos of CO2. How that's possible? Okay, it's possible because hemp from our studies it is a record-breaking CO2 sink. Okay, so it absorbs at least 16 kilos per spoon fiber, per spoon fiber. So not per hectare, but per spoon fiber. So the final process, considering that from the fiber we get 10% of the final yarn, even a t-shirt can absorb a lot of CO2. Okay, so basically here you can see all the phases, okay, of the production. This, I repeat, this is not based on a life cycle assessment. So it's not a scientific study on our company, okay, which I think would be less precise, because usually the LCAs are based on your single process, but unfortunately they cannot calculate the variety of the production, because probably today the t-shirt is produced in Parma, but tomorrow might be produced in Milan. So it might change. Okay, we consider the most pessimistic hypothesis here. So probably it might subtract even more than 92 kilos. Okay, and at the end of all these phases, obviously we consider, which is very important, the planted trees. We plant a record 2 trees every product. Okay, but as you can see, just the carbon sequestration can make the product carbon neutral. Okay, and at the end we linked the article with all the studies, the main studies used for these calculations. So this is, I think, the way to calculate and to show the impact of a product, which is more and more important for fashion brands. What we are doing next is to publish our own scientific study. So now we studied everything we found. Okay, now the goal, which is much more complicated, it will require years. Okay, we'll calculate the CO2 absorption on Italian fields. Okay, that would be very interesting as well. And we expect, we hope, but we might even be disappointed. So it will be a scientific study. I mean, our goal is not to convince ourselves hemp will save the planet. We want to be honest. Okay, so we'll just do a real scientific study in order to confirm these results. Okay, based on these studies. So I think that's very interesting, and also it will be very interesting to compare the results with the experiment done by Maglio, which I appointed. It's a nice absorption, so from cotton, in order also to create comparability. Because if tomorrow I discover that the Sicilian cotton is more absorbing than hemp, probably I will change the Opera Campi goal and we'll start working only with Sicilian cotton. So yes, this is, I think, our study that might be interesting also for the topic, no, of today.
Very interesting. Thank you so much, Alberto. I love you so much, because it's really amazing what you're doing. And since the beginning, because you were born sustainable, and you will ever be, of course.
Exactly. Also, for example, not regarding the material, but we produce on demand each product. So we are following some sustainability rules that are very easy to follow for a startup. So we are in a position of advantage since we are a startup. Probably OVS might never produce on demand because it's a completely different philosophy. No, I can comprehend it, but that's why we love to be a startup, because we can take some steps, take some advantages, like the on-demand production, which is the most sustainable way to produce.
OVS published the best, under my point of view, of course, the best sustainability report I've ever seen. I love it. It's a lot of 50 pages. What is it? It's very long, but amazingly very well done. Very, very well done. So
thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. I mean, I read a lot of these reports, but you are in the Monitor for Circular Fashion as well, OVS, by Bocconi.
Yes, for the second year we are participating in that program.
Great.
Together also with Annalix, of course.
Yes, and Francesca Romana.
We worked also on the circular economy reporting with them. So which is an important how to say, which is an important proof of and the report, as you were mentioning a minute before, but as same as Maglio and Alberto numbers is the right is the right way to approach this this table. So very good.
I have a question for Alberto. What is the let's say legislation in Italy for the hemp cultivation? You have restrictions, or is okay?
No, actually, it's okay for the textile scope. So if anybody
it's not
wants
for smoking, you mean?
No, exactly. Basically, that's the rule. So the police might, however, control you if you cultivate hemp, and they check what kind of hemp you're cultivating. But it's for the textile use is absolutely permitted. But even for pharmaceutical uses, it's permitted with much more controls and certification to obtain, of course. But actually, I think for the right uses is permitted.
Okay. So you don't know if there is the PAP issue for the hemp cultivation?
No, for textile use, no. And there are already different projects of Italian hemp ongoing. Yeah. There have been several developments, and I think that Opera Campi might have Italian hemp probably even by the end of the year. We are just selecting the best supplier, because also we want to put in competition all the suppliers, because our goal is simple, to make the best hemp. So probably by the end of the year, we have the first experiment of Italian hemp.
Okay, so Maglio, have you heard? So they don't have the PAP problem, huh?
I see. Because
so we'll fight for yours, don't worry. So now, last but not least, we have the bamboo fiber, which I would like to speak with. And we have here Andrea Salvia, and he's from Gorilla Socks, which is an amazing brand of beautiful socks. I mean, there are also for children, not only for adults, right?
Right. Thank you,
Valeria.
Tell
us about Gorilla, please.
Thank you, Valeria, and thanks to all the speakers today. It's a really pleasure to be here and talk about our brand. We are also a startup. We were born in 2017, like Opera Campi, so we are of the same age, probably.
Nice.
And as I would love to show you the product. So if you don't mind, I would like to share some slides.
Yes, please.
So we can speak about it by showing you also what we are working on. Okay. You see? Yeah, tell me if you see all the slides. Okay. So what Gorilla Socks? Here you can see our product, basically, so we can start speaking about it. We are a sock brand, actually, and our aim is to be trendy, so to be a fashion brand, but to have a very low environmental impact. So all the process behind this brand is made of two pillars. The first is to be fashionable, to be in the market, to be a product that the people want to buy. On the other side, to be a product which has a very, very important sustainability aim below, starting from the process of production of the fiber, going on also to the go-to-market stage. You can see here which are the characteristics of our product. Our product has several innovative characteristics. It's colored, as you can see, so it's a fashion object. It's wearable all season. It's very soft at the touch. And then he has some important specific characteristic made from the fiber of bamboo. So it's antibacterial and is really breathable. So it's a very interesting product all around. In order to speak about Gorilla Socks and tell you why we choose to go on this kind of product, there are two important aspects. Well, the first one is why socks, and the second one is why bamboo, then why the fiber of bamboo. Why socks? Because we want to be, as I said before, a brand on the market of fashion, and we want to normalize the concept of sustainability in the fashion industry. So they were saying before, Simone, I think it was saying before, the aim is not to be a kind of product which is only sustainable, only for a kind of user, but a product which is in the market, and this is the normalization of this kind of concept of sustainability. So I buy the socks because I love the socks, and I buy the socks because I want a sustainable product, but also I buy directly a sustainable kind of a piece of garment, piece of fashion. So why socks? Because socks is a market for everyone. So it's not a specific kind of market, but it's every one of us uses socks, and it's a real fashion accessory. So it's not nowadays. It changed from a functional accessory. Before you used to use socks for everyday uses. They were black and blue and with no kind of aim of fashion. And now it's a fundamental part of the fashion world. So you start to buy socks also because you have to use them on several occasions. You have that kind of shirt that goes with that kind of sock. So it's a really important part of the garderobe of all of us. And also because it's a global market. The global market of socks reached $43.6 billion in 2020, and is growing at a very high rate. It's growing at 6.3 rate of growth in the period from 2021 to 2026. So it's a very big and large market in which we can start putting really the concept of sustainable fibers in a very enlarged market. So why we use bamboo then? We use bamboo because it has several characteristics. It's soft, it's breathable, he has less water consumption, as they were saying before, and is naturally growing. And also, this kind of plant has also other important characteristics. It grows very rapidly. It produces high quantity of oxygen. It reduces CO2, also like the other fibers that we were talking before. For example, you can say that 1 hectare of giant bamboo absorbs around 17 tons of CO2 per year. So actually, it's a very interesting plant also on this side. It uses very low water. So in this period of scarcity of water, also the less water consumption is very, very interesting. And it doesn't use pesticides and fertilizers. So actually, it's a very complete kind of cultivation. And therefore, we can balance these two aspects. We have a very high sustainable fiber, and we have a very big market on the other side. So actually, which one is the best way to enlarge and expand the concept of sustainability in fashion? We have to use a common and everyday kind of fashion garment. No? Also, our company has also a kind of social responsibility project behind. We are very interested also in giving back. So we have some very important partnership with some onlus association, especially for the marine and no plastic activities. We have some partnership with some local onluses and association, and also we have been the official supplier of Naples soccer team. For last year. It also is very important in terms of inclusivity and gender responsibility. So actually our project is very all around, and the only problem is the go-to-market step. We are facing some important difficulties in going to the market, but actually, as I can tell you now that yesterday we had this important partnership signed, and we are on, from today we are in Zalando also, which is a big important online retailer on the fashion industry, because also they are pushing on this kind of concept, on sustainability and new fibers, also in this enlarged market. So our aim is to be responsible in a higher scale, if possible. So this is our story in very few minutes. Hope you enjoy the products and our idea of business.
Amazing. I liked it very much. So this bamboo is all cultivated in the eastern hemisphere.
Yeah, actually the problem is this, because we cultivate the bamboo in Turkey. We are willing to move our production in Italy, but it's very, very difficult because they're now starting to have this kind of cultivation in Italy in terms of plants of bamboo, but it's still very, very high cost and it's very low know-how on this kind of cultivation. So we will love to bring in-house this kind of cultivation if we can achieve some funds to do it.
But yeah, the funds and the water, because I suppose, I mean, usually it grows in very humid atmospheres. So the issue in Italy maybe is it's too dry. What do you think?
Italy is a good country in order to yes, it's good, especially in the south part of Italy. It's good. It's a good country to grow it.
Yeah, we try. I tried before to plant some. It's growing well, actually.
Grows.
Yeah,
maybe we can come to Sicily and grow it there.
We I don't know, but I do some in my land, so I see them growing very well. You put a little bit water, they are very happy. So.
Mario has an experience also in China, so he worked in a lot of countries.
I lived in 17 years in China before.
Wow, a lot.
Yeah. I have a chance also to visiting farming in China, Jinging company in China. So I see all the process from the beginning always, also because it was my job. So it's, but what we do here is very different from China. That's what when I say we are growing the cotton in bio status. We are fertilize the lands in natural way. We are follow up this biological cycle. So what we are doing is really certified from Italian certified center of something totally different from China, let's say certification. And then I have to say the product, the organicity of the product, you can see the test. You test the product, you see the difference. It's only that you can see the real, because cotton look the same, but when you test it, you see the difference in purity and in microness and everything. So I think what we are, anyway, any product we're going to do in China, in Italy, if we pay the attention or the right attention we have to do, will be for sure qualitativity superior to any others. But of course, we need to study well the system, because today we are 2022, so part can be bimanual, part can be also automatic, because it cannot be too much from the past, right? In the past, everything was by hand. We transport the cotton by donkey. Today we use a truck, so that's the difference. But the product
electric, they have to be electric. The truck.
Absolutely, we try truck electric, but for sure the other yes, we try.
Okay, so since this is a round table, now I would like each speaker to make questions to other. I know maybe Simone, we would like to start from you. What do you think? Do you have any questions for the hemp or the bamboo?
Yes, I have a lot of questions, and I started through the chat asking some more questions. You know, it's especially I have so I can ask the same question so everyone can benefit from the answer. I had a curiosity about the hemp, because hemp, the fabric that you got from hemp are a little bit harsh usually. So it's very strange to find a product which is soft. Sometimes when I know that someone is experiment through extracting cellulose from hemp and to transform that cellulose into other man-made cellulose fiber like modal or lyocell or whatever. So that should be another application of hemp. But so my question for Alberto is exactly this one. Is it your butter hemp a sort of cellulose extraction from hemp, or is it really bast fiber from hemp?
No. Yes. Okay. It's pure hemp. So our differentiation from all the other brands, even for example, Patagonia and Levi's already introduced hemp, but they always use the cottonized hemp or short fiber hemp, also because it's much more cheaper. Okay, but the best hemp, the most sustainable one, and even the one with the most benefits in terms of thermoregulation, etc., is the long staple wet spoon hemp. Okay, 100% hemp. Okay, that's the best quality, which is very, very expensive. Okay, usually consider that it costs at least 20 euros per kilo, and it's also very difficult to work. So it's even the process to work it is much more expensive. Okay, that's the reasons why most brands abandon the idea to work with hemp, because they cannot use it in the machines. Okay, we developed a process together. We developed a know-how which is shared with some of our suppliers. Part of the know-how is owned by us, and this know-how let us develop a very soft hemp. Okay, there are several secrets. Okay, from the laundry used to wash the garments to the process before weaving it, etc., etc. So some steps that made us to reach that softness, which is something very, very similar to cotton. Okay, cotton is still softer because it's a little bit different, but the final result is always surprising our customers. So it's pure hemp. That we only work with pure hemp. We never work. They proposed us even European cottonized hemp, but we always refuse to work with it.
Thank you.
Interesting. Yeah. What do you think, Simone?
Super interesting, absolutely.
So they don't use any chemical process because, you know, this usually is the issue. Hemp is very harsh, as well as ginestra. I don't know in English, how do you say ginestra? But they do in Calabria region, they do since many years, at least 15. I know these cultivations, and then they do textiles, but it's like linen. I mean, even harsher, much harsher. Anyway.
Can I ask a question to Alberto? Alberto, what's the title of the yarn you can make with hemp today?
Well, basically, so first of all, consider that the only problem of hemp is that actually the finest quality is Chinese. So you cannot exit from that. That's why there are so many projects ongoing for Italian hemp, but the Italian hemp will be still very rough, very, very thick. Okay, so the maximum thickness of Italian hemp would be like 9 nm. Okay,
wow.
Which is very thick. But the Chinese quality we are still using for all our products actually can reach like linen till the 50 nm. So very thin, very, very thin.
And this is the reason because they have a specific machinery can work in this kind of...
Exactly, yes. Consider that Giorgio Armani tried to invest on hemp in 2008 and he failed. So it's very, very difficult. That's why we decided in 2018, initially our goal was to try to develop the hemp yarn, but we decided to change our idea, and we decided to invest more on the fabrics and on the developing the know-how instead of investing on the yarn, because I think that it's too risky today. I prefer to let to work on the yarn other people. We are not in agriculture. I prefer to work on the distribution and on the product development.
Okay, clear.
Yeah. In the future, if you want to talk about farming hemp, we can talk about it.
No, because I know the process of spinning for hemp, and then I know what you're meaning is true. But I saw the machinery in China can make hemp very teeny.
Yeah.
It's just a matter about to install machinery. So and recovery somehow we lost. It's the same things about the ginning cotton, right? Of course, everybody today to do faster, they use a sewing gene, they are the machine with the very fast, but also this kind of technology destroy a little bit the quality. But actually we choosing rolling gene is another technology. Maybe, of course, we buy the machine from India because we lost the technology and the know-how also to make the machine in Italy, but I'm telling you this machine is much better quality. So it's matter to understand what is the right machinery, I think, right technology you have to use it to reach the goal. Because if Chinese does, everybody can do. It's just a matter to have the right machinery, because the Chinese are not developed.
Consider that till 2018 we were buying the French hemp, which was great. We were the last company to buy the last 200 kilos of French hemp, and then even French farmers stopped to work it because the quality was the same as the Chinese one and the price was higher. So always the same reason, no?
Yeah, sure, definitely. Of course, if we're just watching the competitors in China and we want to fight by price, this is a lost war. I think you have just to find out what is the quality you wanted and make the price like fixing price, raw material, and then from there starting all the rest of procedure. But you can saving something in the beginning, I think. You know, because of course Chinese or Asia, for what I know about Asia, always they will give it to you a cheaper price. Even though you don't believe so, but they will give it to you, but just for one reason, because they maybe take the cotton under the table, they don't pay tax, or they do one thing. So for them, it's much easy to do the cheaper price. So if we just watching price, we don't have so much road to go. But if we're watching certification of bio impact, what exactly we are doing on the back. If today the interesting of the market is become sustainability and become really ecosystem of production, I think price, yes, is important, but also have to be watched on the way to see the reflection of what you do. Of course, you can keep it by hemp from China, doesn't matter, but they are not do any bio-sustainability process. So, you know, you can keep it by that one cheaper, but still, you know what I mean? Still, we still not do nothing in this case. So I sometimes we have to, for my opinion, you guys are the key, and not me, or I'm the farmer. Okay, we can do what we need, but the point, the key is you. If you have the market in your hand, it's you or Simone, Andrea, everybody of you, Nicola, have the market, and so it's your decision of what you want to go. You change the market. If everybody of you decide to not import hemp anymore from China, building in Italy, you will open a market in hemp in 1 year, depending on you. Of course, if everybody is keeping looking for the cheaper price, there is no road to go. Vero, Valeria? What do you think?
Aspetta che mi ero mutata. Sì, è vero, hai ragione. Io voglio anche salutare Simone perché ci deve lasciare, deve staccarsi, e nel frattempo ho ricevuto anche un messaggio dalla senatrice Mennuni che ci ha ascoltato senza intervenire perché è ancora in Senato, perché è appena insediato un'ora fa Ignazio La Russa, e perciò dice che non è riuscita a collegarsi ma ci ascoltava.
Grazie.
Va bene. Nicola, ci vuoi dire qualcosa? Una domanda? Sorry, I'm sorry, I have to scream. I was speaking Italian because I was speaking with Lavinia. So, what would you like to ask to our speakers? Something in particular? Bamboo, hemp, or cotton?
Yes, I have a question in general to everyone because we discussed a lot of sustainability from an environmental point of view. Myself, as in my first speech, I discussed about CO2, but what I would like to ask is what about also the social impact of those production? Okay, cottons, okay, camp, okay, bamboo. It's incredible because it's fantastic because they are the three representative of all the three, absolutely all the three input, incredible input for the fashion industry. But we know that sustainability, it is not just an environmental issue, but it's also a social issue. So we also we are not just talking about what we produce, but also where we produce and what is the respect of the human rights and in general in the agriculture sector. The human rights is something important. The social aspect needs to be more and more taken into consideration. I was curious to ask to the guests and colleagues what do they think and how those rights are connected to the input.
Ti risponde? I can share with you what we are doing. Okay.
Yeah, separate answers, because everyone is for every. Okay.
I can share with you what we are doing today. Actually, we are all the people working with us in this project are direct farmer from outside, so our family can put them effort is a family condition, okay, to farm the cotton, so it's them for them family. Or the people we employ for picking, we are taking, like I said before, we give them opportunity, we give them a contract, we pay them IMSS, tax, TFL, we pay everything all regular situation. So we take these people from official community where they are people, they are on the process to have a visa and to resident permit. So all the documents are right. So actually we pay even more than what you think. With respect to other company, we pay more our work because we pay 10.5 euro. Respect to other people, they pay 8, 6. So I think our workers are very happy for that. And we give them food, I give them a bus, I move them with a bus, they have a toilets in the camp. I think I checked them better than me, be honest with you. So in terms of social, we give opportunity to work. Where we open the beginning, we are in Castel di Tusa, a small village. 1,000 people live in this village. From the moment we open this activity here, we just employ already 3 people here locally. We give opportunity to the farming around our land. So I think what I'm saying is the country, the reason Sicily needs opportunity and people want to work. So it's just a point to give them the right condition, right? To follow the law and make everything regular. I think this is in terms of social, it's very useful because you show to the rest of the reason it's possible, do everything right, and why not? You know what I mean? So this is what we are doing today. I don't know if it's enough, but for me it's a big step, to be honest with you, because it's not easy to manage all this paperwork, all this stuff, but it's good to do it. And then for the future, we have planning many different activities, especially we are doing some association with banks to support financing farmers and want to develop them land, hydraulic system, bacini idraulici, small lake for collecting water from the. So what we are doing now, we give a job to the people. That is the most important thing. So something nobody does this for 20 to 30 years. Everybody come to Sicily and say, I want to do that. They fit in something and nobody, and then they left. So what we are doing is this in terms of social. I think this is the difference why the people starting to believe in us, believe in me, in what I'm doing, because we show something can be done in the right way, Oh, for the rest, the market is the market. Italy is Italy. There is good people, bad people, but not everybody is the same. But from our side, we do the best.
Wow, amazing. So
for the others, I don't know.
And since we are at the science and innovation, I would like to make a general question to all of you that you can answer finally. And what would you wish to be under the innovation or innovative point of view? What would help you most in the next 3 to 5 years? What kind of innovation would be really helpful for you? What do you think? What would you wish for?
For us, for sure, a project which is already started, has already been started from some farmers, is an hemp consortium.
Okay.
So a hemp for textile use consortium, because today I've seen several projects trying to develop Italian hemp. The problem is that they're very, very small, and they're already in competition between each others. And that's ridiculous. Okay.
Typical Italian.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So I think that there would be the necessity to finance from a public point of view an hemp textile consortium. Like in Parma, we are very used to have consortium because we have Parmigiano Reggiano, Prosciutto di qua, everything is under consortium. So I think that hemp would need this, because we would have a unique source of hemp for textile use, and then any brand might pick the raw material from that source. Okay. Otherwise, the risk is a lot of private investments on small projects, and then nobody will have hemp.
Okay, that's very smart, I think, because and also necessary. So this is an issue we can take up to the new Ministry of Agriculture, and we'll do it together.
Thank you.
What about you, Andrea? Would you like a bamboo consortium? Not too early.
No, I was thinking, actually, speaking about agriculture, probably one of the most important things will be give the opportunity to small companies like us to have the opportunity to invest in Italy. Invest in Italy meaning starting from the production, because as Mali also was saying, is the Eastern world is very competitive, and actually is a very is an enormous problem for us to invest here. So give us the opportunity to start from the land, find also the farmers to develop the land, and then start all the chain from the bottom. Because probably this is the most important thing, because we have all great ideas, and actually the tough part is to develop these ideas in Italy, not just from the concept but also from the bottom part.
Absolutely, I agree with you 100%. What do you think, Nicola? You are innovation, so global, so you tell us.
we do. Actually, you're right. You're right. We do innovation. But if I can say something that will really help, which for Italy is an innovation, is less bureaucracy.
Oh, yeah.
Because we really need to, for the community, to develop. I was thinking about the La Piana del Salento, that maybe you know, that is very famous. I went to Giffoni this year, the Giffoni Film Festival, and I saw the Piana del Salento, that practically is an enormous land, which you don't see when it ends, and is actually an important agricultural part of actually Europe. I think is the biggest European area where they are produced. It's called Quarta Gamma. Is all the bags of salads and tomatoes when we buy already packets into our supermarket, which is incredible. There is a potential to build agri-photovoltaic there, for example. So to use them, we need to have both the greenhouse and in the same time the production. So it could become an important, like maybe the biggest production from renewable all over Europe. So there are great potential. We need to free absolutely the bureaucracy. So that would be maybe the biggest innovation we could do in Italy.
Yes, for Italy could be, because it's agricultural and it's environmental. So it's really needed.
Nice. Would be nice.
And what about you, Manlio? What would you like from the new government? What innovation are you striving for?
Already, if you just give us a little bit help, would be enough.
Okay, you already said, I know.
Today, not give nothing. So just need somebody say, hello guys, I know you are there, we're going to help you. That's it. It's already would be a good step.
Okay, I promise that when the collection, the cotton, organic cotton from Sicily collection will come out to the shops, to the OVS shop, we will go for the sold out, and we'll help with communication in every way, because it's a huge thing to be heard really worldwide that Italy is making the made in Italy cotton.
We try.
Thank you very much to all of you, because now it's time. It's 1.5 hours we are together. It's 4:30, and we must cut our seminar, our roundtable, green roundtable, of course, of the FAO Science and Innovation Forum. So thank you very much, and Thank you for joining. Thank you, Alberto. Thank you, Nicola, Manlio, and Andrea, and Simone, which already cut off. Thank you.
Thank
Ciao
you.
Valeria, grazie. Thank you very much.
Thank you.